Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I think many people had asked me like, where should I invest? I've started earning. I'm really confused about personal finance, how to manage money and much more. So I'd invited Mukesh sir, who has 10 plus years experience working in the banking space. He has worked with Citi Bank, he has worked with Western Union, and currently he's the founder of Monexo, which is into P2P lending and investing. So today we have an expert in the house, and I have curated the most common questions that you people have asked, and I'll be asking to him. Thanks a lot, Mukesh sir, for coming here. If you
Thank
can give
you.
a quick introduction to the audience, it would be great.
Thank you, Manoj. Finance has changed quite a bit since I started working in early 90s. That time there were only two products available to us. One was fixed deposit and the other was saving account. Today we have plethora of products. So it creates some challenge of understanding as well as what product to start when. Choices are good and hope that each of us are trying to invest for our future.
Yeah, I think I would start with the first question. So I think the most common question, there are a lot of Instagram reels, YouTube shorts, which says about saving, save your money, invest your money, right? And these words are used very interchangeably. So what is the difference between savings and investing?
So it's very simple. Let's assume you're earning 30,000 rupee a month and you're spending 15,000 rupee a month. That 15,000 rupees is saving. Most likely you leave that in a saving account, right? Or a current account. You know that interest rate in a saving account is 3.5%, 4%. In some place it'll give you 4.5. Anything which gives you lower than inflation rate is only saving and it's getting eroded away. And there's no risk. You are insured by the bank. But investing always comes with a risk. And because it comes with a risk, it should beat inflation return at least by 1.5x or 2x. That's the minimum threshold you should see. Saving will erode away your money. What you save 15,000 in September 2024, you may not be able to buy something which is same today. Say, let's assume for a very simple, an iPod is for 15,000 rupee today, but by September 2025, it will be 22,000 rupee at least. Savings will not help you, but if you invest your money, you beat inflation, then you will have post inflation something more, then you can afford better stuff.
Got it. I think you told about inflation, so many audience might not be aware of the term or may not be very clear. So I think inflation is not the same for all products, whatever we buy, and it changes from electronics to healthcare, right? So what is inflation according to you, and what is the average inflation that one should try to beat?
So everybody's basket of products are very different. When you are young, you are eating out mostly, your expenses are buying electronics or clothes. But if you think of long term, or even if you think of doing education, education has been cost is going up by 15% per annum. So somebody who could do an MBA course in 1990s for a lakh of rupee, today they have to pay 35, 40 lakh, right? So that's why student loans are becoming more and more prevalent now. So each of you have a different basket of products which you consume and each are going up drastically, right? We know even like maybe you're not buying as young generation your own fruits, etc. right now because you're eating out. But that inflation is very different. And if you ask your parents, they'll tell you what the inflation is. Each of you are renting either a flat or rent. And we know what's going on in Bangalore. There were talks about rent hike being 25-30%. And that's everybody's highest cost, right? In if somebody's earning 30,000 rupee, he's spending 8,000 rupee or 9,000 rupee in taking a small ACO, right? And that's gone up by 20%. So that's your inflation. That's eating away your future earnings or past savings, one of the two. RBI publishes this rate at 6.5, 7%. But individually, we feel much, much higher inflation. Your purchasing power drops. So if you leave your money 1 lakh rupee in the bank account at 4%, end of the year, it's become 1 lakh 4, 1 lakh 4,000 rupees. But if the inflation rate is, let's assume 10%, then what was available at 1 lakh rupee will now be available at 1 lakh 10,000 rupee. So you'll be short by 6,000 rupee to purchase anything. That's how it will work out.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it changes a lot for people to people based on where they are spending their money. And the next question is, let's talk about the two most popular assets. One is fixed deposits and two is mutual funds. And these are the two most popular assets and everyone is talking about that. Some people say don't invest in fixed deposits. Some people say don't invest in stock market. So I want to understand what is the difference between these two assets and when should one invest in this asset? So what is the use case for, let's say, fixed deposit and as well as mutual?
So first of all, I would not say fixed deposit is a investment product. Now, fixed deposit also gives you give or takes 7.5 or 8% or even 9%. Let's assume the best case which is going on. You'll be paying a 30% tax on it. So 2.7% gone. So give or take, you are left with 5.7 or 5.8. 5.8 is lower than inflation. So fixed deposit is not an investment product. It's a product which makes you feel safe, secure. And yes, maybe you should keep 3 months or 4 months of your expenses in eventuality in a fixed deposit. Because that is something which you can access tomorrow morning, right? Then you may not earn the 9% interest because you had signed up a contract for 12 months. You're withdrawing in 6 months' time. They will give you a lower interest rate, maybe of 7% or 6%. But you can access that money surely, and it's insured under RBI insurance scheme up to 5 lakh rupees at one particular bank. So if you want to do a 20 lakh FD, you may want to spread it over 4 banks also for insurance purposes. Investing, as we talked about, is all about investing in products which give you higher than inflation return and at least 1.5 to 2x. The easiest product for young person to get into is mutual fund. But even before mutual fund, I'll say each of you, I know youth is a lot of power, but first thing you should buy for yourself is a health insurance. The earlier you buy health insurance and keep it, the cost is lower. And we may think we are all fit, we are going to gym, but today we don't know what we are consuming, what kind of products we are consuming throughout the day. Stress levels are different, right? And passing that hospitalization, one hospital visit can put you out of maybe 6 7 months of your salary or put a strain on your all your savings which you've done. So pass that risk out. Health and accident insurance even before you start investing. After that, the mutual fund is the easiest product to invest, but the most complex product to also invest. There are a plethora of products. In mutual fund, you have debt, you have equity, you have hybrid, you have different asset management companies, AMCs like HD, Aditya Birla, Reliance, so many companies, and within that, hundreds of funds. So you need to know how long you want to invest for and what kind of risk appetite you want to have. Right now, there's sector funds also available there, which have given 70 80%. But don't, those are all the fact that the market has run away in one direction for last 4 years. Having a real expectation of 15 14% is what you should look at. And talk to somebody who's done investing. Don't just go by your peers. Find, I know online is great. Do your own research. If you don't have a wealth manager, start going to a wealth manager. Building a habit is most crucial. And those guys help you to build a habit because they'll call you and pester you saying इस महीने का SIP नहीं किया, इस महीने का 5,000 रुपया नहीं भेजा. The apps will send you a notification, but you can swipe left or right and close it, right? So getting a human help is helpful, and then you can talk to him and talk about your goals.
Got it. Perfect. I think first, so fixed deposit is more like for safety purpose, whereas mutual fund is more for investing as it beats inflation. I think the next one, the common confusion that people have is okay, now I've started earning. What should I do with the money? So when you are earning your first month's salary, there are multiple people giving you a lot of opinions. Some might say, man, you are young, put all your money in stock market. Some people say, yeah, you are young, go to party, enjoy, don't invest a lot of money, right? Parents would say, yaar, FD bana do sabka. So it's very confusing for, let's say, somebody who's just started earning and they're like listening various opinions from multiple people. What should they do with their money? Is there any framework for that to start to think about it?
So the framework, the way I have seen myself, and as I said, when I was growing up, it was only FD, and frankly, we were not getting the salaries which you guys get now, also. But the way I see it is, if you're staying with your parents, your expense should not be more than 10% of your salary, because you're not paying for rent, you're not paying for electricity, you're not paying for
Food.
water, heat, anything. So
Correct.
all is you require 10% to have fun, right? So that's the best way. You are saving 90%. If you want to splurge, go up to 15%. And it's possible. Now break this part into three, depending on where you want to be in your life. Start building a safety net. In your generation, job loss is a reality. I was very lucky. I worked for Citibank for 20 years. Surely job losses started happening, but they started happening around 2004, 2006, and 2008 was the major job loss. And since then, it's always been going on. But prior to that, people could have a long career with one company. Nowadays, you also don't want a long-term career, and the companies go through cycle at that time. So as I said, you should have 6 months, because it may take 6 months to get a job. So first put one third money there so that you are very comfortable for next 6 months. If you're living alone also, or if you're living with your parents, so that you don't become dependent on your pocket or your expenses on them. Second, get yourself well insured. Don't be stingy. Don't try and do a 2 lakh rupee health insurance. In 2 lakh rupee, nothing happens in India nowadays in a Apollo hospital or any good hospital you would like to go to. And you would not like to go to a government hospital, I can tell you that. So get yourself insured. And if you want to insure your parents, there's a floating cover available. Understand how they are insured and insure them under floating cover. So as a family, when you do, the cost comes down and you get a chance of helping your parents out also. Three, if you are not upgrading yourself, please upgrade yourself. Today, it's very, very important to continuously educate yourself, and there are a lot of avenues available, online courses or even free courses. But try and get a certification and start implementing them. So if you have to spend some money to keep yourself abreast in whatever you're trying to do, but digital marketing, influencer, whatever, there are courses available, right? And now AI is the part. So just don't say I know AI by typing few commands in chat GPT. Become professional on that. And then surely start investing in mutual fund. I think direct equity or futures an option avoidable unless you have a full-time attention on that. You want to become a day trader. If you do not wish to become a day trader, avoid getting into direct equity or FNO. That's where I see it. A lot of people say they made money, but those who have burnt money, they never say. And if you look at SEBI's, they said 90% plus people lose money in FNO. That's how I will see it.
Got it. I think this is perfect of like key things that someone should do, like divide their salary into three parts and focus on safety net, investing, upskilling, and insure, like getting them insured. Uh, yeah. And the next thing I have is, I think you had explained, but let's take an example of, let's say, someone earning 50,000 rupees. So now you told to invest, safety net, etc. But let's say after a point, so assuming I'm investing, let's say, 10,000 rupees on a safety net, that is my emergency fund, I'll build it. Let's imagine that emergency, I already have an emergency fund. I already have a health insurance. I have a life insurance, right? Within like 1 year or 2 years, somebody would have built it. So now what should they do with this money now? How should their strategy be?
Because you are young, and as people say, yes, you can take risk. It's not about taking a risk. It's about long perspective. See, the short term market will go up and down. But if you look at long term, and I'm talking long term, not 3 years, 7, 10 years horizon, you may still fall. The 10th year may be bad year, something nobody can time. But if you look at a 10-year horizon, the markets will continue to perform in a particular direction, which is better, right? So think of a 10-year horizon, a 5-year horizon, and a 3-year horizon. So whatever corpus you are trying to put in mutual fund, try and that also break into 3, 5, and 10-year horizon. You may want to get married after 3 years. You may want to buy a car after 5 years. And in 10 years, you may want to think of buying a house. So keep one, your income is growing. There's another called expense inflation. My salary increases from 50,000 to 60,000 rupee. Saving will not increase. Immediately the 10,000 rupee will go into expenses every month. No, don't let that happen. Yes, you can increase some part of your expense, but majority should again then go into your 3, 5, and 10-year horizon products. I would really look at something, and even 3, 5, 10, you should look at debt and equity. More towards equity. If you are younger than 25, I would even go up to 80% in equity and 20% in debt. As you start going towards 30, 35, I'll start bringing down the equities and take a little bit out higher on the debt. Because
Got
some
it.
debt mutual funds will give you 9.5, 10% return, which is still much better than FDs.
Perfect. I think dividing the investment into 3, 5, and 10-year goal and then selecting product and investing. That should be one strategy. And whenever the income increases, they should not spend all the income on expenses. Rather, they should reinvest that money. I think another common question that people have as soon as they start earning, I think most Indian parents, they don't like credit card. So credit card is seen as something bad. Or, oh, you have a credit card, you should not have it. At least the middle class or the majority I'm talking about. So I just want to ask two questions here. So one is credit card good thing for the youngsters? Should they take it or not? And how does it impact credit score? And is credit score also important, right? And many people nowadays don't have a credit score, and that might affect them on a long term, maybe or may not. Depends on that person. Right? So just want to understand this.
First, think of having a credit score like a license or a passport. A lot of you don't have a car at this age, but you want to have a car license because you never know when you want to drive your car. And you don't go to a showroom and first buy a car and then go for a license. Similarly, there'll be a day when you would want to borrow money to buy your first bike or your first car. That time, credit score cannot be built. You have to build it over time. Credit score is built by taking credit and paying it on time. If you delay, it does not build it. It actually comes down, right? So now, is credit card the right means? Yes. If you get one credit card, now you have to be very disciplined. What happens is credit card is two things. One is a spending mechanism and second is a credit mechanism. So let's assume I'll differentiate between both. I have a credit card. I go out for a drinks with my friend. I swipe 5,000 rupee on a Saturday night. I will get a bill after 30 days. So first it was a payment mechanism. On the 30th day, if I don't pay full 5,000 rupee, that means I want to borrow from the credit card. Minimum payment is 5%. So if I don't pay even that, then I'm delinquent. But if I pay by 5%, I borrowed 95% from the bank, which is the worst thing to do because interest rate on that is anywhere between 3.5% per month. So it's a debt trap. So if you are confident you want to spend 5,000 rupee having fun on a Saturday night, but be prepared to pay that 5,000 rupee on the 30th day. So it's great. But if you're only going to pay 5%, 10%, 50%, then it will be not the best item to use. NPCI along with banks have launched credit line on UPI. There are 7 banks on that. HDFC, ICICI, Axis Bank. There are a few other Indian banks also. You can go to your bank and say, and the younger generation pays mostly on UPI nowadays. That will also lead to building a credit score over a period of time, right? So that's a new avenue. It's exactly like a credit card only, and it's just that there's no physical plastic given to you for status. One additional, this whole concept about reward points, 15% discount, having five credit cards because इस रेस्टोरेंट में ये डील है उसमें ये डील है आईपैड खरीदने के HDFC में 10% है it ultimately becomes too much work in your head for saving that 1 or 2% extra no kabhi you will miss your payment and then you'll pay 5,000 rupee extra 2,000 rupee late fees 500 rupee this it's not worth it have 2 credit cards one your primary credit card so let's assume you are a car driver you buy petrol worth 8,000 rupee then get a petrol card HPCL petrol card or whatever with any bank if you're a frequent flyer get an airline card there are few airline co-brand cards which will get you hotels discount etc stay with what is your major need and take 1 or 2 credit cards and be happy with it you will never be able to maximize all the reward points everywhere.
I think based on your need, you need to take the right credit card instead of having multiple.
Yep.
I think one cross question here is how long does it take to build a credit score if I have a credit card?
So typically, you will get a credit score within the first 3 to 4 months of making your payment, but that's still not considered as a good credit score. Score and the vintage, both.
Hmm.
So if you have less than 12-month vintage in the bureau, you are as good as not a credit score customer. So
Got it.
it's the banks look at it saying, has he given a consistent? It's like you going to gym. You gone to gym once does not mean you have built your body, right? Have you been consistent in paying 12 months? Then the banks think, okay, this guy has performed well for 12 months and he's consistently scored above 700 or 750.
Got it. Yeah. I think another thing is what's a good credit score, right? Is there a number that one should aim at?
See, everybody talks about 700 plus or 750 plus, uh, and it's very easily achievable. Credit score is a mix of vintage, your payment history, and your kind of credit you have. Example, if you have only unsecured loans, which is personal loan, consumer durables, buy now, pay later, and credit card, these are all unsecured. But if you have gold loan, car loan, housing loan, the weightages make a difference. But if you are young, unlikely you'll take a gold loan, you'll unlikely you'll take a car loan, unlikely you'll have housing loan. So you'll have a high weightage on unsecured loan. बट डोंट बी फ्रीक्वेंट लाइक अभी इस मैंने एक आईफोन खरीद लिया अभी बाय नाउ पे लेटर पे नेक्स्ट मंथ जाके एक और कुछ गैजेट खरीद लिया और मैंने हर 15 दिन में खरीद रहा हूँ तो देन व्हाट विल हैपन इज योर स्कोर विल डिक्लाइन because your exposure is increasing, right? And
Got it.
and every day checking, going and applying for one loan, one unsecured loan, that also will bring down your score. So avoid doing those. Be very sure when you need it. Take loan only for your needs, not wants. Right? Second, have that budget saying कि मैं अगर loan ले रहा हूँ तो that's my consumption. That 10-15% if you're staying with your home, is it that part of that budget? So if you have to cut something else, you have to cut that something else because EMI is part of your responsibility. It's not going to go out from your saving bucket or your mutual fund bucket or your insurance bucket. And then make sure you pay on time. If your EMI is due on 3rd or your credit card is due on 3rd, make sure it is done on 3rd, not on 5th.
Got it. Perfect. I think the next common question that people have is, okay, my parents are telling me to buy a home. And let's say, assume the person is between 21 to 30, right? And it depends. Somebody who does an MBA, they would start work late, like 24, 25. So in their first 2, 3 years, they get a pressure from relative or like a peer pressure of, let's say, taking a home loan. So how should one approach this, right? Should they take a home loan early so that it helps them over a long term? Or should they not take a home loan? Should they buy a house or not with a loan?
Fortunately, unlikely that any of us can now afford to buy a house without a home loan, unless you really hit a jackpot somewhere. I think even if you take a tier 2 town, 40 lakh rupee will be a decent house to buy now.
Okay.
And at the age of 25, you've not saved up 40 lakh rupees. Even if you have to make a down payment of 10%, 4 lakh you have to make down payment. Then if you think of a 36 lakh rupee rent or EMI over even 25, 30 years, right? At a 9% interest rate, it will be high. So there are two school of thoughts. Let me be very honest. First, house purchase is a emotional decision. It is not a financial decision. Because today you can rent a house and you can keep moving around. Let's assume, Manoj, you want to buy a house and you buy at Coimbatore. Tomorrow your boss says there's a job in Bombay. Now you'll say, or what do I do? If I keep this house vacant, how will I pay the EMI? Because my rental has started in Bombay. Bombay is 6 times more expensive than Coimbatore, right?
Exactly.
So now you have EMI and you have rental. So I think house before 30 is unlikely, but it's an emotional decision now, not a financial decision.
And also, if you are on rent, you can change your house if you don't
Yes,
like it,
yes,
like
yes.
even in the same city.
And I live in a rented house today also.
Got
Not
it.
that my wife will be very pleased with that comment, but one of the reasons is that financial. But as I said, it's not a financial decision. The first house is always an emotional decision. Protection, status in the family, all that comes through.
Perfect. I think the last question is in general, right? I see like fintech is evolving a lot, especially investment products. There are a lot of new investment products coming in, right? How do you see India evolving in this, and how do you see government or RBI taking regulations to protect people's money?
There's a term called caveat emptor or buyers beware. Don't expect regulator to protect you all the way. You have to read, you have to understand. A lot of you want to buy cryptocurrencies, but we know what happened recently. There's a hack, and 40-50% of people have lost money, and there's no compensation for that, right? So be very sure what you are going to do. Let's assume you want to experiment with crypto. Go ahead, experiment with it, and be sure that if that money doesn't come back, you don't mind it. You don't lose sleep over it. There'll be a lot of investment products coming. Just because your next colleague told you that I am buying this, don't buy. Read. And you can say, I'm a doctor or I'm a lawyer. I don't understand all this. No. It's common sense. Financial, it's personal. Personal, that's why it's called personal finance. What works for Mukesh does not work for Manoj. What works for Manoj does not work for somebody else. We don't know what background you come from. Somebody may have to take care of their parents. So the whole thing which I just spoke about is all wrong, right? How can somebody earning 50,000 rupees take care of his parents, has a younger brother to put through college? All that plan has gone through the roof, right? There's no point. So each has to be personal. Your risk appetite versus my risk appetite will be very different. So one has to be very careful and one has to read. There's no substitute. There's a framework of regulation, but each product is different. You should understand the pros and cons. There's a model called safety, liquidity, and regulation. So, hey, what happens if this event happens? You need to understand that with your wealth manager. Online nowadays blogs are available, so read it. Don't read one blog. Go and read 2-3 blogs before you invest. Liquidity. Just in case I need my money back, what will happen? Can I get in 24 hours? No. Like a house. Let's assume you purchased a house. Nobody can sell a house in 24 hours, right? What happens if you get moved, you bought a house and you're moved to Bombay? And that's a fantastic opportunity. You got a job at Google, but Google says no work from home in Coimbatore. Please come to Delhi. Delhi rents are obnoxious, right? But they're paying you well. Now, what will happen? How will you fix the EMI? How will you pay your EMI because you don't want to put that in rent. You've done some good woodwork in that. You don't want to spoil it. Nobody wants to live in your house because your parents already have a house. All that comes into play,
Got it.
right?
Perfect. I think I don't have any other questions. Thanks a lot, sir, for answering all the questions in a very crisp and even easy to understandable way. We can close the podcast. Let me know if you have any closing words for the audience.
Thank you, Manoj. And I said, and I think investing is very, very critical. The earlier you start, if anybody is interested in Warren Buffett, how much money he made in the first 20 years, in the next 20 years, it's not timing of the market or anything, it's the length and beating inflation. So stay focused. It's a discipline. And that's why for discipline, even if people go to gym, those who go to gym and just work out themselves have a very different result. Those who keep a coach have a very different result. You need a financial coach for yourself. He will keep you straight because otherwise we are humanly, we're all indisciplined people. So get yourself a financial coach.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Manoj.